Welcome back to the More Sports Please podcast. I told you we try to be uploading every week. We are on week 2.
Week
And
2 of
progress
many.
of many.
Progress, that's the most we've had in 2 week span
Yeah, we're
since the
consistent
last
right
time
now,
we had 2 in a row in 4 weeks.
which was back in like COVID.
Yeah, back in the day. Um, yeah, I mean, we're doing numbers here. How many views did we get in the last one?
3.
3?
I
Me
don't
twice
know.
and you?
Let me look it up real quick. I don't know how many we got on Spotify. Oh no, I hit the wrong button.
Are we on Apple Music too?
I don't know. I don't think Anchor uploads it through Apple Music. Because I think Anchor's strictly Spotify now.
Good. Apple Music doesn't deserve to hear us.
Yeah.
Hear the wisdom we have.
Yeah. Deleted. All
More
right.
sports, please.
View your channel.
It says no views on mine.
Oh, on mine we have 5 views.
Oh, okay. You know, it's
Let's
oh, no,
go.
I see 5 views now. I see 5 views. There we go.
5 views.
Then maybe we can get 5 more views on this one.
Our most recent episode on Spotify has 2 plays.
There you go. And I didn't play it, so it must have been someone else.
I think it was me.
Twice?
Yeah, probably.
When's the next episode of More Pittsburgh, please, coming?
I was actually working on that.
Oh, okay.
I'm changing it. So,
What was that?
that is a car that just drove by. Apologies to any viewers that hear any sounds. I live in the city, so you'll hear a lot of shit.
What
but
city? What's your specific address?
4.
The 4th house built ever.
The 4th house. But yeah, I wanted to announce that I'm in the works of making 2 solo podcasts that'll try to come out Monday and Tuesday. Gavin, you're more than welcome to hop on one of them. One is going to be called More Michigan, Please, and the other one is More Steelers, Please. So, Gavin, you're more than welcome to hop on the More Michigan podcast. That'll probably come out on Mondays, and then the More Steelers, Please will come out on Tuesdays.
Why can't I hop on the More Steelers podcast?
Because you're an Eagles fan! It's just basically we're going to break down some film and go over why the team did what they did, what areas they can improve in, what the recap of the last game, why Michigan doesn't have a quarterback. Why they suck at quarterback. Why my heart breaks because we can't throw the fucking ball. Uh-oh, Gavin, you're frozen.
I'm losing you.
Uh-oh.
I'm losing you.
You're losing me? This is not good. This is not good.
Hello.
Hello?
I mean,
Oh, he has left. Oh, he is back. Now he's spinning. Technical difficulties, everybody. We are not pros. Never claimed to be. I'll try to fill the time while he's trying to connect and everything. So, yeah, I'm gonna try to come out with some solo podcasts on Monday and Tuesday. The logos are in the works. We're just trying to work on thumbnails and everything, but I'm not quite sure when those will be started, whether that's next week, the week after that. Whenever I get some free time, we'll get it started. I'll try to make some time for that, but schedule's a little freer than normal, so we're going to try to get these fit in and everything and go from there. Gavin, can you hear me? He's still currently having issues. Oh, hello! He's back!
Oh my god. I was in limbo for a second there.
Okay,
The
you're
2
good.
spinny wheels on
I was filling the time in just talking about the solo podcast, so
okay.
we're all good. So, well, let's...
I saw you like glitching out, and then I looked over my Discord and saw like the Wi-Fi thing go to like 1 bar red. I'm like, oh no.
Oh, no.
Welcome back to the Talk to a Podcast.
Talk to a pod going...
Never do that again.
we'll go ahead and
Yeah,
get
we're gonna get
into.
to talk to a. Okay, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
We're gonna go ahead and get into these top 25 power rankings for college football. Um, so last week, there's some movements all around, mostly in the top 10. Actually, it looks like everywhere. Um, we're gonna start from the bottom and go up.
Sounds
I'm
good.
just kidding. We're gonna start from the bottom, top, and go down.
Okay.
So there's a new number one, Alabama.
Yeah.
Alabama jumps up 3 spots from number 4 to number 1, jumping Texas. Texas moves down to number 2. Ohio State stays at number 3. Tennessee moves up 1 to number 4. And Georgia drops 3 to number 5. Any shocking areas of where the teams are here? Because I feel like it's pretty tight race between the top 5. I feel like they're
I
all.
mean, it's the SEC and Ohio State. That's
Yeah, it's.
SEC is balling right now, as they always are.
Yeah,
No,
there's.
that makes sense. I mean, the only thing, Alabama, Georgia, big shakeup. I mean, Alabama deserves the number one spot because they beat the number one team, and Georgia shouldn't fall that far because they lost to the new number one team. But it
I,
makes
s-
sense.
yeah, I
I
see
get the
that.
logic.
I get they're better. They're definitely better than Oregon. Um,
Hmm.
I can't find a reason in my head to rank them above the 4 teams above them, except for Ohio State because Ohio State hasn't played anybody. We'll get more into that later. They're playing their first, I guess, real competition this week in Iowa with that defense, but
Hmm.
Iowa's going to have to rely on that run game. But we'll talk about more of that later. But yes, the top 5, I'm pretty sure, they're the echelon, they're the elite. It's kind of
Hmm.
it's you can make an argument, I think, for the top 4 of any one of those teams being number 1.
Yeah, but I get why they picked Alabama. I mean,
Yeah, I think Alabama's win over Georgia is more impressive than Texas win over Michigan. You could convince me otherwise because Texas went into Michigan and beat them, while Alabama won at home.
hmm.
But yeah,
Yeah. Well, I mean, we saw how Michigan looked in Minnesota, so
yeah, we will also talk
maybe it's
about
not.
that later.
Maybe it's not too impressive nowadays to go into the big house and give Michigan some problems.
Yeah. 6 is Oregon. They move up 2. Penn State moves up 2. Miami drops 1 at 8. Missouri goes up 2 at 9. And Michigan comes into the top 10, jumping 2 spots. Um, Oregon moving up 2. Penn State looked pretty good against Illinois. Miami struggled against Virginia Tech. They are one
I mean,
touchdown call
y-
away from having a loss.
yeah. I mean, and credit to Virginia Tech, man. I didn't watch the whole game, but they gave Miami a run for their money, and from what I saw, their offense was looking pretty good.
Yeah, Cam Ward looked like Cam Ward of old. He came out, he made several mistakes. He was just playing erratic football. He almost cost his team the game. He looked like Cam Ward of old, and that scares me because with a prospect like him, you need those mistakes and all that to be gone.
Hmm.
But yeah, so Miami drops to 8. Missouri jumps up to 9. The big shock
Who
here.
has
Go ahead.
who has Missouri played? I
Um,
haven't been keeping tabs on Missouri.
they just came off a win against Vanderbilt, 30-27.
Oh, Vanderbilt, that's crazy.
I don't think they've played much of anybody else.
Yeah.
Let me see here. Neener. Where is Mizzou? What the fuck? Where's that?
I don't think they last too long in the top 10 once they start getting into conference play. So if you're Mizzou right now, you're just kind of taking it all in
Well, the
at
thing
this
with
point. 'Cause one's conference.
Mizzou is I think their schedule is favorable.
The SEC, who?
I
I
don't
mean,
think
who
they
would
have
they
to go
play?
through any of those big
Any of the big ones?
squads. But let me see. Their schedule,
They got Texas
they
A&M
got
next week.
Alabama. Alabama and
Okay.
Oklahoma.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's their two biggest. They got Texas A&M this weekend, then UMass, Auburn. So I mean, they won against Boston College, who is now ranked 24th. Or sorry, who was ranked
Yeah.
24th at the time, but I don't know how
That was
impressive
just
that
a
win is
product of the
anymore.
Florida State. The Florida State kind of screwed up the rankings. You know, give
Yeah,
these like Georgia Tech and Boston College like technically a top 10 win.
right.
So you gotta put them in the 25, but now Florida State is just everyone realizes that they're probably a bottom 25 team at this point.
Yeah, they're terrible.
Hmm.
Biggest surprise I think of the season is how bad Florida State is.
Yeah, I mean I wasn't expecting it.
USC at 11. Or sorry, I wanted to talk about Michigan at 10.
Yeah,
Honestly, we are not a top 10 team.
no, especially after that Minnesota game.
No, yeah,
Uh,
it's not
you have no creativity on offense
absolutely not
with
nothing.
Orgy.
I'm,
I mean I love
I'm
the
gonna get
guy, but
some toilet paper to blow my nose real quick. So keep talking.
all right, while he's getting some toilet paper to blow his nose. Uh, talk about Michigan. But yeah, they got Washington next week, which I guess we're not talking about next week's opponents yet, but you know, getting into that Big Ten conference play.
Yeah, they really
Um,
struggled again. I mean, don't get me wrong. They had the game in hand the first three quarters. I
they
mean,
did,
they
yeah.
shut out Minnesota. I wouldn't say
I
shut out.
mean,
They gave them 3 points, but
and they were like a what, like a illegal formation away from a recovered onside kick
yeah,
to possibly
they're
even
an
losing that game.
offsides call away from losing that game.
Yeah, not good if you're Michigan.
They can't put away teams. I mean, Minnesota
Mm-mm.
this week, USC last week. We go up big, we play shut down defense in the first three quarters, and then that fourth quarter hits, and we just let them sneak back into it. We
You got wonder if maybe that's a coaching issue,
A Sharon Moore issue.
a coaching issue.
A Sharon Moore issue.
Yes, yes.
I think it is. As you don't get that with Harbaugh. If Harbaugh's here,
Mm-mm.
you put teams away. But
But Harbaugh's not here. He's with the Chargers.
yeah, you live with what you got and you die with what you got. It's just gonna be one of those
Mm-hmm.
years, man. We're either barely gonna make playoffs or we're going bowling.
Let's go bowling.
Got USC at 11. Old man. Let's go gambling. Aw, dang
Let's
it.
go golf. Let's go golfing.
Nico, you want to go bowling? Oh. So we got USC at 11. Ole Miss drops to 12 from 6 with their big loss against Kentucky. 13th is LSU. Notre Dame jumps up to 14. Clemson at 15. Iowa State at 16. BYU at 17. Utah drops 8 to 18th. Oklahoma at 19. Kansas State at 20. Boise State is at 21. Louisville drops 7 to 22. Indiana University jumps up to 23. Illinois jumps to 20 or falls
I
to
thought they stayed at
24.
23.
Indiana's ranked now. They were unranked coming into this
Oh.
week, and UNLV is at 25. So we'll come
Two.
back to Indiana being ranked. I want to talk about Ole Miss.
Oh yeah, Ole Miss. Uh, I mean, the Kentucky. I want to talk about Kentucky because they almost beat Georgia. Go like 1 point game versus Georgia to beating Ole Miss. It's like Kentucky. I don't know who else is on the rest of their schedule, but I mean they've been giving these powerful teams a run for their money. And then put the nail in the coffin with Ole Miss. That's gonna be hard to bounce back from, especially being in the SEC. Um,
Yeah, so Kentucky has a bye week this week. Then
rest up, rest up.
they play Vanderbilt, Florida, Auburn, go to number 4 Tennessee, home against Murray State, to number 2 Texas, and home against number 22 Louisville.
So those teams need to be on upset alert, right? Because
I agree.
we've seen what Kentucky can do against Ole Miss, that old Southern rivalry.
Now with the Ole Miss thing, is this? It worries me because they're with being a top 16, you drop a game to Kentucky. Are I mean, is this just who Ole Miss is? Are they frauds? Are they did they just let one slip out of their hands? It's kind of like I don't know. How good is Ole Miss going to be going forward?
Hmm.
How can Jackson Dart bounce back?
I think he'll bounce back. He's made that offense consistently look pretty good every week since he started last year.
I agree. I think it's just one of those, at one point in the game, Ole Miss had a 93% chance of winning late in the fourth,
Ooh. Dang.
and it was
Gotta close those
17.
out, man.
Yeah, it was 17-13 at that time. It was third and
Terrible.
7 on Kentucky's 20, and
Kentucky deserves to
they
be
must have
ranked.
missed a field goal, but or
Get
Winford or
Kentucky into
something.
AP top 25.
Negative.
Oh, they had 6 votes
Did they
to be
really?
the top 20. Yeah.
No shot. You're right. Arizona had 106. Pittsburgh had 42. Colorado had one
One.
vote. I do want to talk about them because I think they should be ranked, but
I was gonna say one is kind of surprising considering their past 2 weeks.
yeah, they've been. That was a huge shock. We'll talk about we'll recap the games coming up, but they're
Mhm.
a game I really want to touch on. We'll jump now to Indiana. We'll skip over Utah lost to. Hold on. Utah's lost to Arizona. It's just one of those games.
Arizona's a good team too.
Noah
That's
Fafita just came out and did his thing.
do that thing. Can we talk about Boise State? Oh, wait, you want to talk about Indiana?
We can
That's
talk
right.
about Boise State. They're before Indiana.
Dude, what's the running back's name again? I always forget it.
Ashton Genty.
Have you been seeing his stats?
Dog.
He's
He
Dude,
so I wanted to bring this up, but we'll bring it up now since we're talking about him. He genuinely might rush for over 3,000 yards.
he is. Wait, what? Let me do some math here. They've played 4 games, right? And you have 845 rushing yards in 4 games. You're averaging over 210 rushing yards a game.
Yeah, that is fucking crazy.
I didn't
He,
even see how many 13 rushing touchdowns.
dog,
Oh my god.
we are, I'd say what, we're midway through the season? Maybe a little
Barely.
close. Let's see. They play Utah State. They got so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games left. He's already
Mhm.
almost at 1,000 rushing yards after 4 games. So let's say he hits 1,000 against Utah. So every 5 games he hits 1,000 yards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2,000. He genuinely might cut it close to 3,000 yards.
Oh man. This dude is crazy. Dude is averaging in 2024 10.3 yards a carry. He's averaging a
Dog.
first down a carry, and he has 82 rushing attempts.
Fucking insane. If the
Dude,
Heisman wasn't a quarterback award, he'd be first. Like he'd be
the
the leading
Heisman Award's
candidate.
gonna be crazy, I think, because you got guy we're talking about right now. I always forget his name. Genty,
Ashton
Ashton
Genty,
Genty, and then you got Travis Hunter, Colorado, wide
yep.
receiver and corner. I mean, you barely ever see that. Um, and then you got what like
Jalen
well,
Milrow,
you got Jalen Milrow. You also got the 17-year-old receiver on Alabama.
Ryan
He's
Williams,
been putting up numbers. Yeah,
Cam
Cam
Ward.
Ward. I mean, yeah.
God
I think it's
damn.
gonna come down to Hunter versus Jenny.
I
Yeah,
think it's I think it's Jalen
or
Milrows to
Milrow,
lose.
or Milrow. Freaking quarterbacks, man. Just
Yeah,
call it best quarterback award. Goddamn.
basically that's what the Heisman is, man. If Quinn Ewers wasn't hurt, I think Ewers would be one of the front runners,
Mhm. Mhm.
but he just hasn't played.
But yeah, I mean, you see, the Boise State's only loss this season is to Oregon by 3 points. So,
Yeah, Boise State, and they have, I mean, their schedule isn't bad. They've got Utah,
mhm.
Hawaii, UNLV, San Diego State, Nevada, San Jose State, Wyoming, and Oregon State.
I mean, depending on how it plays out, you could say that they have a shot to get into the playoffs without the group of five bid.
I think that's a bit of a long shot. I think
I'm
they're going
just
to have to
saying.
come out of the Mountain West to be in the playoffs because they're going to have to. It just all depends on how these SEC teams fall.
Mhm.
If they all trade, I don't think Boise State makes it in, but if Georgia drops 2 games and if we got like a 2-loss Michigan team and who else? Who's above them? If Oregon drops 2 games to Michigan and Ohio State, if Texas drops a game to Alabama, I mean, I guess there is a chance Boise State can sneak their way up there, but a lot of dominoes are going to have to fall for Boise State to sneak up.
Yeah,
I
but you
think
also gotta, yeah,
we got to remember what
gotta remember quality of win too, because if they keep just putting up these kind of numbers,
that is true.
if you're trying to pick the best teams, the top 12 best teams, do you think Boise State can hang with the likes of like Michigan, USC, Ole Miss, Missouri?
Yes, I think they can hang with all 4 of those teams. But do I think they can hang with the teams likes of Alabama, Texas,
No,
Tennessee,
no,
Georgia? No.
no group of five. Barely any team can keep up with those guys.
But I think they're gonna have to come out of the Mountain West as the champions to be able to get in,
Well, yeah, yeah, big group of
which
five
is
bid,
pretty
probably.
pretty easy for them as their only real competition is UNLV.
Yeah, two group of five teams in the top 25. That's what you love to see.
Crazy, man. And then
And Indiana.
Indiana. So I want to get your opinion on this because I've heard it been thrown around the past couple days.
I'm not giving it to you.
Okay, we'll move on.
No.
So I'm gonna give you. Let me find Indiana real quick, and I'll go to their schedule.
Schedule.
Where the
Let me go
fuck do
to
they
the
play
schedule.
today? Or today? Do they play this weekend?
Did you play today?
Did you play today? I don't see it. I don't know if they play this weekend.
uh,
Uh,
I don't see.
who did they play?
I
Oh,
don't
hold on.
see.
They played Maryland
We got
last week. So they do play. They played Northwestern. That's not hard.
that's not
Northwestern could play
easy
upset, but so
peasy.
they go through. Indiana's got a favorable schedule, except for Michigan and Ohio State. But
Mhm.
Northwestern, Nebraska, Washington, Michigan State, all pretty easy wins aside from
Nebraska.
Northwestern. Well, the only reason I say Northwestern is because they're used to playing spoiler.
That's true.
They're a
That's
team
true.
late in the season that could play spoiler. Nebraska with Dylan, yeah, just depends on if they're cooking or not. Then, and I feel like they're home against Washington and then go to Michigan State. But I'm gonna list off. I'm gonna go through the Big Ten, and you tell me if they're better than Indiana or if Indiana's better than them.
All
UCLA,
right. Indiana's better.
Minnesota,
Indiana's better.
Maryland. Well, they already proved Maryland. Purdue,
Yeah. Better. Indiana's better.
Wisconsin,
Indiana's better.
Northwestern,
Indiana's better.
Washington,
Indiana's better.
Michigan State,
Better.
and Nebraska.
I mean, we'll see. Right now, I'm
Yeah,
gonna go better,
Illinois,
but better,
USC.
worse.
Okay, Iowa,
Uh, Better.
Rutgers.
I can never trust Rutgers. Better.
Penn State.
Worse.
Oregon.
Worse.
Ohio State.
Worse.
And Michigan.
Worse.
So,
So.
I know Indiana really hasn't had a quality win yet, and we probably won't be able to tell until they go face Michigan. But is this Indiana team better than Michigan?
I don't want to say so.
Do you trust Michigan to be able to pull off a win against Indiana?
Do I trust Michigan? No. I guess Michigan to pull off a win against anyone at this point.
I guess you're right. So the two teams that have been really sneaky in this Big Ten are Indiana and Rutgers. And right now, I'm terrified to play either of those two. Because they're hot and they're cooking.
They're cooking. They're boiling.
They're boiling all right. It's like a pot, and they slow boil, and the water's hot.
The water's hot.
The water's hot.
It's boiling over.
It's going over, and but like, okay. So there's no divisions anymore in these like Big Ten. There's no Big Ten East. There's no Big Ten West anymore. So like in reality, we could have an Ohio State Michigan championship game. Highly unlikely. But in reality, let's just say for shits and giggles, Michigan beats Ohio State, and Oregon beats Ohio State, and Michigan beats Oregon. And then we'll have I guess, and then who the fuck? We'll need Penn State to lose too. Iowa will obviously drop one. I think Iowa will drop to Ohio State. Let's say Penn State loses to Ohio State as well. So you have a 2-loss Ohio State team, a 1-loss Penn State team, a 1-loss Iowa. Well, let me go through Iowa's schedule. I don't want to go 1-loss Iowa team. Okay, yeah. So we'll do a 1-loss Iowa team, 1-loss Penn State, 2-loss Ohio State, 1-loss Oregon, and 1-loss Michigan. And you have a 0-loss Rutgers team playing in the Big Ten championship game against for shits and giggles, man, let's just say Indiana beats Ohio State and Michigan.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
You have a 0-loss Indiana team in the Big Ten championship game against a 0-loss Rutgers team. And one of those two is getting the Big Ten bid. It's a possibility. Is it likely? No. I think it's very likely, and not very. I think it's a little likely that Rutgers could be in the Big Ten championship game because their schedule they play USC and Illinois are the only two ranked teams left on their schedule.
Yeah, I do see that.
There's a possibility
you could be dealing with a 2-loss Rutgers team, and then you don't have to.
I think if you get a 2-loss Rutgers team, you kind of just
kind of throw them out in the back.
Yeah, it's honestly if Michigan doesn't lose a game the rest of the year and Ohio State loses to Michigan, you have a Michigan-Ohio State Big Ten championship because they'd beat Oregon, they'll beat Penn State. They're probably, granted, Penn State will have a 1-loss. Oregon will have 2 losses. So, but I think it's just strength of victory. Ohio State beat Penn State. Michigan beat Ohio State. You get Michigan, Ohio State Big Ten championship game.
Yeah. That would be awesome.
The likelihood of that happening, I don't know, because this Michigan team is so up and down.
Yeah, I don't trust them.
I don't either.
I expect them to win most of their schedule. I don't trust them to win most of their schedule. But I expected them to beat Minnesota. I did not trust them to beat Minnesota.
Yeah. Speaking of that, good segue into last week's recap of Week 5 in the college football. We already talked about Miami and Virginia Tech. just Miami should not have. I mean, it was way too close for comfort. Rutgers
Mhm.
pulling off a win against Washington. Texas beating Mississippi State by not by a lot, but I think it's because Mississippi State came out and just tried to get the game over with as fast as possible. Um, Ohio State throttled Michigan State. Ole Miss, we talked about getting upset by Kentucky. Oregon beats UC. I'm only doing the ranked ones aside from UCF and Colorado, but we'll come back
No,
to Alabama and Georgia.
I'll bring up Miami too. Don't worry.
Oh yeah. Uh, Illinois kept it. I mean, that Illinois Penn State game was close. They didn't. I mean, they won. They pad statted. It's 21-7 was the final score, but that didn't get scored till late in the fourth.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah. No, I haven't
14-7
seen it
for a
right.
bit, and Illinois hung in there, man. Penn State's. I mean, Penn State did what Penn State did. They come out and they barely beat teams that they should. I mean, granted, they're not gonna fucking wallop at the time 19th ranked Illinois, but their
Mhm.
running back looked like you know their running back. Katron Allen looked like freshman Katron Allen. He looked good.
Yeah.
He's starting to show his ability that he can get back to where he was his freshman year, which is a good sign for Penn State because if you want a Drew Aller, I'm a known Carson Beck hater. I'm also a well-known Drew Aller hater. So if you want Drew Aller to be able to put up good numbers, you need your running back game to be consistent. You cannot rely on Drew Aller to come out and beat an Ohio State and beat a Michigan. It's
Or beat a Bowling Green.
or beat a Bowling Green, barely.
Close with
But
that.
they kept that game close. I was watching a little bit of it, but I ended up getting like a fucking migraine halfway through. I was watching that
Just
game a little
watching Penn
bit.
State football just.
I had like the YouTube TV like 4 games. I had that on, but I was mostly paying attention to the Alabama Georgia game, which we'll
Mhm.
talk about in a sec. But I fell asleep at halftime. I'm like, oh, Alabama's up by 3 touchdowns. They'll win this. And I woke up to see that
Uh,
Georgia came back to only lose by a touchdown. I was like, holy shits. And then I watched that Ryan Williams catch,
oh
ran it
my
all the
god.
way. But Utah lost to Arizona. Michigan sneaks one out against Minnesota.
Marley.
If you look at the box score, you're gonna be like, wow, this Michigan team barely beat Minnesota. I guess not the box. If you look at it just with the result, you're gonna be like, Michigan only beat them 27-24. But if you go look at the box score and see when all this was played, you could be like, wow, Michigan couldn't put away Minnesota.
Michigan gave up 21 points in the fourth
Fourth
quarter.
quarter. If without that, they played a really great game defensively, special teams, offensively, but that interception by Alex Orji completely turned the momentum.
You're not going to be able to win games in this Big Ten against the big guys, only throwing both 86 yards
Yeah,
and 1 touchdown and 1 interception. Your
you
your offense becomes so one-dimensional. It
everybody
is
knows what's
absolutely
gonna
nothing.
happen.
Hmm But shout
It,
out to Khalil Mullins. He had a great game.
he did have a great game.
101 yards,
111
2 touchdowns.
yards, 24 carries, 2 touchdowns. My problem is, I love Khalil. Well, I hated Khalil Mullings when the season started. I will say that, but I've learned to love him. My problem is, you have one of the most hyped up running backs in college football in Donovan Edwards, and he can't get shit going. This was
Yeah.
supposed to be his year. This is his offense, and he can't. He just
I mean, you
can't.
just got to give it to the hot hand. And, I mean, it might be a confidence thing, too. It's a mental game. If your backup all of a sudden comes in and starts putting up better, yards per carry than you are, get more explosive plays off, then,
I guess you're
you
right.
gotta ride with the hot hand.
You want to know something insane?
Sure.
So let me see if I can find the stats for the team. Here we go. So you think this this passing offense is bad? Listen to this. Colston Loveland leads the team with 23 receptions for 228 yards. That is more than all 3 of their receivers combined. Samaj
That
Morgan
reminds
with
me of
62, Frederick Moore with 43, and Tyler Morris with 43.
the 2019 Eagles.
It's insane. Marlon
And I mean,
Klein is the second leading receiver, and he also plays tight end.
they gotta get that 11 personnel, two tight end kind of thing going. Always got two tight ends on the field because they're always running the ball.
Yeah.
Gonna
I've never.
be the.
I'm going to compare pro and college right now.
Hmm.
I have never seen both my favorite teams have such a bad receiving core in my lifetime.
Yeah, I've 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 seen the Eagles have a pretty bad receiving core before.
This is. We have George Pickens in Pittsburgh and everybody else. There is nobody over in Michigan. Samaj Morgan, who doesn't play. Frederick Moore, who can't catch the ball. Tyler Morris speaks for itself. And Kendrick Bell, Ronnie Bell's younger brother, who they have high hopes for. Man, it's just this
Yeah,
receiving core is non-existent.
it's
We
not.
can't
And
we can't put all the blame on Alex Orji when he has no one to throw the ball to. Nobody can get separation. These guys can't get open. And when they are open, they either don't catch it or Orji throws a bad ball.
it doesn't help the passing game. It's the two man thing, two position thing. Tight ends are looking good, huh?
Yeah, Colson Loveland is the best tight end in the nation. He's looking amazing. But
Hmm.
this offense is just there's not there's not a big time player that you can't. I mean, you can ride Khalil Mullings for 30 carries, but it's not going to win you football games because everybody knows what's coming.
Yep.
Michigan wants to get back to their identity of running the football. Okay, but you have to be able to throw the passing game in there. You have to be able to get that going. Just like last year, they were able to get JJ looked phenomenal. JJ, obviously first round quarterback, but when the running game stalled out or they couldn't get it going, they were able to turn to JJ to get these third and longs, to pick up these third and tens, third and nines, third and eight. You can when Michigan gets into these third and long situations with Alex Orji, the only way he's picking it up is with his legs.
Exactly. Yeah, you saw that shining example at the Minnesota game.
Right. He's not going to pick it up through the air. And it's the same way with the Steelers. If Pittsburgh gets in these third and nines, third and eight situations, the only way they're picking it up is with Justin Fields in his legs. Because
Justin Fields had a lot of passing yards last week, though.
he did. We'll talk about that later. I've got so many frustrations about that game.
You think, don't even. Just wait.
Back to
Just wait.
college football, but Michigan worries me. There obviously is not going to be a repeat this year, but man, there might not even be a college football playoff appearance.
Definitely true.
They're
We'll
going to
go
have.
bowling.
I think we'll go bowling, but they're going to have
Yeah.
to win out to get in the playoffs, and that includes beating Ohio State.
Yeah. Which I don't expect to happen. But
It's at the Horseshoe this year, isn't it, or wherever they're at?
it
The
is.
fucking
Yep.
shitter
The Ohio
place.
Stadium. Yeah.
Fuck.
The whole
Yeah,
shit.
that's gonna be a lot to overcome. They better hope the offense is clicking by then. Uh,
You better hope.
yeah. USC
It's
beats
both.
Wisconsin. LSU beats Southern Alabama. Notre Dame beat Notre Dame beat Louisville. I'm kind of shocked that Notre Dame won this game because it's Notre
Notre
Dame.
Dame bouncing back from the NIU. They were like, we can't let that happen again.
Yeah, that's it. We're down.
We're done. They're getting a
Clemson.
rhythm on offense.
That they are. They are getting rhythm on offense. Their quarterback's able to get the ball down the field. They're putting up some numbers. I don't know. I don't think Riley Leonard. I don't know if he did play. Okay. He also led the team in rushing yards. Wow. Riley Leonard 17 for 23, 163 yards and two touchdowns. So he looked good.
Yeah, he did what they asked him to. That's all you can do as
Took
a
care of the football and put up
quarterback.
points.
Yeah,
And
and a little bit. Yeah, I don't think they're asking them to run for 13 times.
yeah, for 52
But
yards and a touchdown. I don't think they're asking him to do that either. But
yeah, just a little cherry on top.
yeah, he had a great game. Riley Leonard looked like the Riley Leonard that he's supposed to. Can he keep it up? I don't know.
No.
Can he keep it up? No.
All right. What's
Uh,
next? Bring it up. Bring it up.
LSU beat South Alabama. Oh, we already did that. Clemson beat Stanford. Iowa State beat Houston 20-0. Okay, so I know FSU is a terrible team. If you put, who wins, FSU or Houston?
I mean, FSU probably. You saw
These
it.
two are the worst teams in college football.
Didn't UC put a beat down on Houston as well?
34-0.
Yeah.
Rice,
Houston is just terrible.
the only and which is weird, crazy because Oklahoma barely beat Houston 16-12, but that was week 2.
The parody of football.
Houston is atrociously bad right now.
And when you
And
get into a rut, it's a confidence thing.
oh
Yeah.
shit, sorry for any of the blow people's eardrums. I accidentally clicked on a video and it was like
No, you can barely hear it.
oh, okay, hopefully nobody heard it. But yeah, it's just honestly, if Houston and FSU play, I think Houston might win that game. FSU just looks so bad, man.
Mm-hmm.
So Kansas State ended up beating Oklahoma State. Auburn. You want to talk about a team that cannot finish?
Yeah.
Auburn had Oklahoma in the cusp, man. They were up 14-10 coming out of the third quarter, going into the fourth. Put up 7 and just let Oklahoma come back 27-21. They had at one point had a 96.4% chance of winning. That was right before the fourth quarter started, and then had a 92% chance in the fourth.
Damn. Man, that's weird because Peyton Thorne's looking good. I'm just looking at the box score right now. 21 for 32, 338 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception.
I agree. He is looking good.
Yeah.
The problem is Auburn can't. It's like Michigan. They
Yeah,
can't
I mean, they
shut out
let
opponents.
17 points up in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and the same thing happened the week before with Arkansas. I mean, maybe not. I guess not. I lied. You go down 14 or 14-7.
I'm lying.
I'm lying. But yeah, you can't trust Auburn.
I wish I forget who I picked.
I picked Auburn.
I need to go back and look at that.
Auburn plays number 5 Georgia this weekend. Wow.
Ooh.
We'll talk about the schedule for next week coming up, but there's a lot of potential upsets.
Mm-hmm.
BYU beat Baylor, Texas A&M beat Arkansas, and Boise State beat Washington State. That is all the ranked teams from last week. We'll touch on your team. Oh, sorry. Georgia and Alabama. Oh, honestly, absolute cinema.
Absolute peak cinema. I couldn't watch the whole thing. I watched the end of the first half and then the end of the second half.
Dude, it was a tale of two. It was 3 games all in one. You had Alabama whooping Georgia, and then halftime starts and ends, and then you have Georgia coming back and whooping Bama, and then you have the final play.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to take away from this. I don't know if Bama's the better team or if Georgia's the better team. I grant Alabama did beat Georgia, but Alabama was hard on the gas the first half, and Georgia was hard on the gas the second half.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's because Georgia is better at making adjustments and Alabama just didn't. But
Yeah, I also think of Alabama's new coaching too. This roster's
Kalen
stacked.
DeBoer, yeah,
but
it's
you gotta learn how to finish games, and that was like a big, light a fire under your butt. Say like, hey, you almost just blew this in front of everyone.
right.
Be a little more careful going forward. You have the roster to win the whole thing if you want to.
Absolutely. You have the capabilities, the roster, and everything to win the whole thing. There is a chance these teams both meet in Atlanta in the SEC championship game. Possibility they don't, but with Ole Miss losing to Kentucky, that opens up the area more because now you just need Tennessee and Texas to at least drop one game, and then Georgia's loss to number one ranked Alabama doesn't look as bad as a Texas loss to Georgia,
Mm-hmm.
or a
Yeah.
Tennessee loss to Texas or whoever. I don't know if Tennessee and Texas play. I'm just kind of.
Whoever.
But that was, I mean, hands down right now, game of the year.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't watch it, so I watched a little bit
I
of it.
caught the first half, fell asleep, and then saw the highlights. From what I saw and from what I've gathered from people talking, it's game of the year. Um,
Peak, peak cinema.
Colorado and UCF. Colorado comes out in shocks, beats them like they were a 17-point dog coming into this game, and they won 48-21. It was the
That was
whole opposite of what people was gonna or what people thought was gonna happen. They expected Colorado to come out and try to throw the ball, UCF to come out and run the ball, and Colorado not be able to stop it. Colorado came out and run the ball, and UCF couldn't stop it, and UCF tried to run the ball, but Colorado was able to stop them.
yeah.
I mean,
UCF
this
was talking a lot too before this game.
right, this Colorado team has they have improved from what they were last year, and they're able to go and beat these teams that they're dogs against. I I picked UCF. I didn't think Colorado was going to win this game. They have a big challenge in 2 weeks because they have a bye week this week. They have a challenge in 2 weeks where they go against number 20 Kansas State. But I mean, does Colorado win the Big 12? Is there a possibility they come out of the Big 12?
If they do,
I don't know.
Deion Sanders is coach of the year.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
but
prime time. Back at it again.
they got to go through Kansas State. They got to go through Utah. And BYU's at the top of the conference right now, but can they win the Big 12? I guess it's a possibility. If they continue to play how they played, they could beat anybody.
You get that momentum going. You get that. I mean, you got some of the best players in college football right now. You got Travis Hunter, who will definitely be a Heisman finalist. You got him on both sides of the ball.
Yeah,
You know?
offense and
You
defense.
have a great corner and a great receiver.
It's
You know?
just they're good at being they just after big wins they're very undisciplined.
Mhm.
So it's hard for me to sit here and be like, yeah, I think Colorado could come out of the Big 12. I don't know.
It's gonna be
I do
fun.
not know.
I do not know.
You could talk about your Miami game.
Oh yes, the Maction of the week, huh? So Miami, beat the UMass Minutemen, their future MAC rivals, as UMass will be joining the MAC next year. Um, oh no, breaking
Breaking
news!
news.
I think UMass was one of the first like conference realignment announcements. I think they announced it like last year mid-season. They're going to the MAC on 2026.
Huge.
Huge. But yeah, overtime win in Oxford, Ohio for Miami Redhawks in their homecoming rainy weekend. And let's just say I'm not too happy with the Redhawks and how they looked this game. I think they were 6.5 point favorites, still somewhat close. But like we started off 0-3. Everyone was saying this is Miami's bounce back game. You gotta beat up UMass a little bit, then you go into conference play and you can get a ball rolling, right? After having a rough first 3 games of the season. But then UMass just kind of has its way with you in the rushing game, and you don't look disciplined. Brett Gabbert doesn't look like a super senior quarterback. He doesn't look like a 6-year quarterback. He made this one play that I don't know if you saw this in the chat. I said bench Gabbert after the. He
No, I
made
didn't
this
watch
one
it.
play. He made this one play in we're in the red zone. It's almost halftime, right? So we got one more play. If you take it for the end zone, if it's not there, you throw it away, kick the field goal. We got like maybe 30 seconds left, and I forget exactly how much time was left. Brett Gabbert runs around a little bit and then throws into triple coverage and gets it intercepted. I'm like, you could have used those points at the end of the half. We
Could have
would have actually
used
wouldn't have
those.
to go to overtime if we use those. But that's why I'm scared. Brett Gabbert has been playing very undisciplined football, um, which is not good. But you have a good sign from Miami's offense. Kayon Mozzie, or Mosey, I don't know how you pronounce it. The running back, starting running back, didn't know how good he was going to be. We lost Adrian Amos to the transfer portal. I forget exactly where he went. I think it was Ole Miss or something.
Did you
Um,
say?
Not Adrian Amos. Oh my
I was
God.
like, you lost the former Packers safety.
No, not Adrian Amos. Rashad Amos.
Ah,
Sorry, different Amos. But yeah, he transferred to Ole Miss, which, like, by the way, he has like um
lost Adrian Amos's transfer portal. He went to the Jaguars.
he has like 3 carries or something.
He's on the practice
So don't
squad.
transfer from Miami, people.
Unless you're a
Um,
kicker.
but then we go from Rashad Amos. Unless you're a kicker, that kicker's not even starting for Alabama.
They're the number one ranked team in the country.
um, okay, but you have Keon Mosey, which you have big shoes to fill, and he goes on to have 9 carries for 114 yards and 1 touchdown. He was really the one carrying his offense on his back because we were not looking good in the passing game. And he was the bulk of our rushing too. The next person had 8 carries for 32 yards. Keon Mosey was taking the blunt of it and had 12.7 average. And Kevin Davis doesn't look good, so I don't know why he's even getting reps at this point. He should be like third on the depth chart. But then Javon Tracy and Andre Johnson both had some pretty good games. But yeah, Miami really needs to clean up a lot going forward if they want to have even a chance of winning the MAC, which is kind of stacked in terms of MAC. With Toledo looking good, like they did last year, and Northern Illinois upsetting um, Notre Dame, and you got Bowling Green almost upsetting Penn State. But then you
Yeah.
also got Kent State, which easy win.
Easy
But
win over Kent.
Miami, rough start to the season. Still need to find their footing, which is not going to be easy still against Toledo this weekend.
And that
So
is the perfect segue into this weekend's games. We'll only
that's your
touch
Maction of the week.
the Maction of the week. We'll only touch on the rank games. You can touch on your Maction, your Mac shit.
I'll just say that Miami needs to beat Toledo, please, because Toledo will probably have a top spot in the MAC,
What
and if
time
they
do
won't
they
even have
play?
a MAC championship, 3:30, I
Toledo
think.
is a 6.5 point favorite.
Yeah. So
The
I'm not
Thursday
surprised.
games are terrible. Texas State, Troy, Sam Houston, and UTEP. So but we'll touch on some Friday games. Michigan State goes to Oregon. Oregon is a 23 point favorite.
After what Ohio State did to Michigan, you expect Oregon to do around the same.
Yeah. Syracuse goes into UNLV. UNLV is a 6.5 point favorite. Both those are Friday night.
Yeah.
Opening up the Saturday slate. UCLA travels to Penn State. Penn State is a hold on. Give me Oregon and UNLV in those games.
Hmm. Yep.
Um, Penn State opens up a 27.5 point favorite. I'm gonna be honest. Give me Penn State, but I don't think they cover.
Now, especially with their performance last week, I think. But
You're asking Penn State to win a game by 27.5 points. That offense is not built to do that.
mm-mm. But UCLA is also not good.
Yeah, that
So
is true.
I don't know.
Then you got
Yeah.
Missouri traveling to Texas A&M. I think this is a good chance. So Missouri, ninth ranked team in the country, travels to the 25th ranked team. Hold on a minute.
I'm holding.
ESPN's got UNLV ranked 25th, and they've got Texas A&M ranked at 25th.
Wait, I see that on Google too.
Who's really ranked 25th here?
I think it's UNLV.
One of these
Yes,
teams is ranked. Anyways,
Te- Texas A&M is not ranked.
okay, so
It should not be.
Missouri goes to unranked Texas A&M. It is at Texas A&M. Texas A&M is a 2.5 point favorite over a number 9 ranked Missouri.
Mizzou.
This is
Like I
just
was gonna say, savor the taste now, Mizzou fans, because I don't know how long this is gonna last being in the top 10.
yeah. This is just the pinnacle and start of possible upset alert this
Mhm.
weekend.
I'm taking A&M
I was gonna say, give me A&M.
by 50. Just kidding.
I got A&M by 3. I think they cover.
I got A&M by 2.5. Don't ask me where the half points come from.
SMU travels to Louisville. Louisville opens up as a 7 point favorite. Or the line right now is 7 point favorite. I think there's a possibility SMU upsets Louisville, but give me Louisville.
I was gonna say SMU has been an offensive powerhouse besides one game against BYU. Um, so watch out. They might make it.
Damn, they hung
They might make it a game.
66 points on TCU. I'm taking that
TCU.
Florida State game with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
There's
Doesn't count as a top 10 win anymore.
right. I think SMU's got a chance, but give me Louisville.
Yeah, give me Louisville.
Um,
Already
next
touched on.
next ranked game starts at 3:30. It is Iowa at Ohio State. Ohio State opens up as a 20.5 point favorite. This game can go one of two ways. You're either going to get your standard typical Ohio State versus Iowa, where Ohio State comes out and just blows them out of the fucking water, wins by 40 points. And Ohio, and they prove that, hey, we are still Ohio State. No matter who we have as quarterback, we can put up points. Or you have Iowa coming and shocking, and let's just say they only lose to Ohio State by 3. Their defense plays lockdown ball against Ohio State, and they're able to get the running attack going. If they can get the running attack going, I think Iowa can stay in the game.
Two outcomes. Iowa loses by a lot. Iowa loses by a little.
I don't think Iowa's beating Ohio State, but I
Nah.
think they either lose by a lot or they lose by a little. So give me Ohio State, but I don't think they cover.
Give me Ohio State. They don't cover, but only by 3 points.
Yeah.
Bet on that. Take the alternative cover.
Auburn comes to Georgia. Georgia opens up as a 24 point favorite. Man, it depends on how pissed Georgia is. If Georgia comes out pissed, they're going to throttle Auburn.
Oh yeah, no, I think they will throttle Auburn, especially we saw what Auburn cannot do last week, which is close out games.
Yeah.
And you don't even have to close out a game because you're gonna be getting pounded the entire time.
Yeah, you're
by
going
Georgia.
up against a pissed off Georgia team or a Georgia team that is in their ways and can't recover from the Alabama loss. But I've got Georgia. I do think they cover. I think they win this game handily.
Yes, I agree with that, 100%.
But the past 2 games we mentioned, I think, are on upset alert somehow. If Georgia can't overcome the Alabama loss and Ohio State can't get their shit going against actual competition, I think both those are on upset alert. We got Ole Miss going to South Carolina. Only 9 point favorite for Ole Miss. Give me.
Miss the USC.
I'm taking the
South
Gamecocks.
Carolina's been looking good.
Yeah, I'm taking the
Yeah,
Gamecocks. It's so either Kentucky couldn't get shit going in week 2, or South Carolina is this fucking offensive or just this juggernaut of a team because they killed
Yeah.
Kentucky 31-6.
That's what that pissed Kentucky off. So they had to almost beat Georgia
And then beat Ole Miss. I think
and then beat Ole Miss.
I think Ole Miss suffers their second loss, and this drops them out of the top 25. I think South Carolina wins.
Actually, you saw my answer. I'm taking South Carolina too, because they beat Kentucky and Kentucky beat Ole Miss. So obviously, with the
Obviously.
simple math and commutative property.
Indiana
Gamecock.
travels to Northwestern, opening up as a 14-point favorite. I think Indiana
Indiana.
wins this, but Northwestern can definitely play spoiler.
Northwestern does not have the offense to do that. I would
So
be
we're
afraid.
both at Indiana.
Yes. I mean, Miami held Northwestern to 13 points week 1. So, Miami of Ohio. That is the real Miami.
And lost.
And lost. We only scored 6 points.
Alabama's the next ranked game. Number 1, Alabama goes to Vanderbilt.
This is reminding me of like the Texas Mississippi State game from last week, where I just have a terrible feeling about this.
Like, what do you think that Alabama's just going to come out and
Been putting up
kill?
like 500 points.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't think it's by that much. I think it's.
Well,
I think
not 500
right. I
points.
don't think that. I don't think Bama's going to come out and put up 50 points on Vanderbilt, but I do think they cover with 23 points. I think they come out and probably put up 30. Just like
Easy one for Alabama.
a 30-0 game. I think they
Hmm.
hold Vanderbilt to very little points, if any at all. Next ranked game is Clemson traveling to Florida State. This could have been a huge game if Florida State had any capacity to play football.
If Florida State was a good football team, this could have been.
But Clemson, I think they go in and they handle business. 14.5-point favorites.
Clemson. Yep.
Utah State travels to Boise State. Boise State is 27-point favorite. Ashton
I want
Genty's going to put up 400 yards.
Yeah. I was gonna say I want to see the props for like the Genty like over under and the like total rushing touchdowns he's gonna get.
Yeah, this game is
Like,
it's
let
not
me
going to
actually
be
look at that.
close.
Nah,
I
I'm
think
not
Boise
feeling
State
good about
handles
it.
this handily. I do
I
want to know what.
actually really want to see this.
Yeah, I want to know what the over
Yeah.
under is for touchdowns for Ashton Genty this game. It's gonna be
La
something
la la
stupid like
la.
1.5 or some shit,
Uh,
like over 100 rushing yards. Like obviously he's gonna fucking hit that. That's free money, but
Yeah. Hold on.
Colby.
There's Boise State. So yeah, Boise State favored by 27 against Utah State, at least in DraftKings.
They are
Um,
here on ESPN too.
all right. Let's see. Game props. Not game props. Game lines. There we go. Why can I not make? Why can I not make player bets? What the hell?
What the hell, boy? What the hell?
Boy, what the hell, boy? No, I can't. I can't see Genty's over under
Let me see
for
if I
some
can find
reason.
it.
Game props. Here, I'll just look it up on Google. Genty over under.
That's what I'm. No player props data displayed.
Maybe they don't. How early do they put those out? I wonder. Hmm.
I wonder if
Hmm.
Wednesday's too early.
What is this?
Over under Ashton Genty next week running for 250 yards and 4 touchdowns.
On FD Sportsbook? Wait, what did you just say?
I saw something that it's on a website. It's not an actual betting line, but it said over under 250 yards, 15 touches on 4 touchdowns.
Yep. I just saw this on FD Sportsbook. No
FanDuel.
sponsorship. Oh yeah, FanDuel. Sorry, is it someone else posting it? Guess what the odds are for him to score 3 or more touchdowns, or 3+ touchdowns? Yeah, 3 or more. Without looking at your phone.
I don't know. Plus
Minus
minus.
155. Minus 155.
Good God, bro.
With the over under set at 195.5 rushing yards.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah, there you yeah, to score 3 touchdowns, Ashton Genty minus 110 on FanDuel. Wow. Minus 2100 for an anytime touchdown.
Yep.
Jesus.
Yeah, he's a freak of nature. Say we can see if we can keep this up.
Oh my God. Over 188 and a half yards is minus 114. It's the
Yeah.
same thing for under, but
That's
dog. He doesn't get into plus territory until it's over 200 yards at plus 111 or 112. The bar doesn't even move that much.
yeah. Vegas knows.
Next ranked game
Vegas knows
after
all.
that is Tennessee going to Arkansas. Tennessee's favored by 13 points.
I like
Tennessee.
Arkansas.
I was gonna say Tennessee's coming off a bye.
Hmm.
I think this has the possibility of being an upset game. I really like. Hold on, I wrote his last name on the back of my phone so I can pronounce it. I really like Nico Iamaleava. Nico Iamaleava. Wrote how to pronounce it.
Iliamiaba.
Iamaleava. I really do like Nico. I think
Iliamiaba.
he's a solid quarterback. I do worry about this game because this, like I said, I think could be an upset alert. But I'm picking Tennessee.
Ooh, I want to pick Arkansas. I just like them. I like the way they play.
Wowzers! I just
Yeah,
made
go
a
off of
mess
vibes.
in my trousers. You want to go off
I'm
of
going
vibes?
completely off vibe.
The next ranked game, number 10 Michigan goes into Washington. Washington opens up currently, not opens up. Washington is currently a 2.5 point favorite.
Give me Michigan.
Michigan, 10th ranked Michigan, are dogs going into Washington.
I think that puts a little chip on their shoulder. Maybe that's what they need. You can't be the reigning national champion forever, you know.
The only reason I take Michigan in this game is because Washington's defense can't stop the run.
Well, perfect matchup for Michigan then.
Yeah, so I'm going with Michigan on this too.
Michigan.
USC travels to Minnesota. USC is 8 point favorite. Man, if Minnesota can play like they did that in that fourth quarter, I think they can beat USC.
Yeah, if they can, get the genie in a bottle kind of thing, lightning in a bottle,
Yeah.
um, from that fourth quarter. But I don't think they'll play well enough against USC.
Yeah.
If USC plays how they did in the fourth quarter versus Michigan,
I guess you got a
if they
point.
just get both those fourth quarter teams.
This is just a battle between who is for real. Like which one of these teams could have actually beaten Michigan?
Yeah, I'm going USC.
I am too. Next ranked game is Baylor going to Iowa State. Iowa State is 12 point favorite. I had high hopes for Baylor because I thought maybe you barely beat Colorado, maybe you beat BYU. Nope. No, you don't.
I thought they lost to Colorado.
Or sorry, yeah, you barely lose to Colorado on a Hail Mary. Maybe you beat BYU. Nope, you lost to BYU. I don't have any faith of you beating Iowa State either.
Yep, Iowa State by 7.
Iowa State by 55. I'm just kidding.
Ooh.
Iowa State by 15.
Okay.
The last ranked game of the slate is number 8 Miami going to Cal.
I haven't seen much of Cal.
I have
year,
not
to be
either.
honest.
That's what I was gonna open up their schedule real quick and see. They're 3-1. They're only lost. Wow. Okay, that's all they needed to know. Give me Miami. Their only
What?
loss is to Florida State.
Oh. Yeah, you put up 9 points against Florida State. Okay.
Yeah.
Give me Miami.
Give me
the
Miami.
Hurricanes. Give me Miami fake.
Give me real Miami, the Hurricanes. What's the big game to watch this week? I think
Big game to watch.
last
Obviously, Miami Toledo. Just kidding. I will be unbiased here.
I think last week was easy. You had Georgia, Alabama, but I think this week is a little tougher.
I have 2 that I'm really looking at.
I have 3, and
2
they're
or
all
3.
they're all in different slates.
Oh, I have 2 in the same slate, 1 in the 3:30.
Okay, what are yours?
Mizzou, Texas A&M.
Okay, that's mine.
See
That's
how
one
real
of mine.
Mizzou is.
Yep.
SMU, Louisville.
Okay.
See
That was
how
not
this
one of
SMU
mine.
offense takes up with Louisville. And then Ole Miss, South Carolina.
Okay, also not one of mine.
Oh.
I think I
Okay,
should
here.
throw Ole Miss and South Carolina on there because I think that'll be a good game to keep eyes on. The problem is I have a different 3:30 game. My first one is Missouri at Texas A&M. I do think that could possibly be game of the week. And then I have Iowa at Ohio State. If Iowa can show that they're a real contender, I think this is the perfect time to do it because Ohio State has played School of the Blind, Grandpas, and Walmart employees. And then my last game is at 7 o'clock, the national championship rematch, simply based off of logos because nobody. I mean, not nobody. There's basically a whole different roster, a whole different coaching staff. You only have a couple players from each team that are returning from the national championship team, but Michigan and Washington.
Well, come up with it. Oh no, go ahead.
It hurts me to say this, but I do think there's a possibility Washington can come out with the upset,
and they take, advantage of Michigan's inability to close out games.
Yeah.
So we have to. I think the consensus one between us would be Mizzou and Texas A&M because we both picked that one.
Yep. I think that one has the possibility to be, like I said, the game of the week. I think, like you said, it's to see if Mizzou is real and to see how good Texas A&M is.
Yeah. Good old big noon kickoff.
Big noon. Big noon.
All right. Does that take us to NFL?
That takes us into the ad break. Doo-doo-doo. Welcome back. I'm just kidding. There's no ad break. That takes
Tell me you're sponsored. I'm not getting.
We are sponsored by nobody. If you want to sponsor us, hit them up in the chat, in the description.
Chat, is this real?
Comments.
In the Discord group chat.
So that leads us into the NFL. Let's touch on our games from Week 4. We won't touch on every one of them unless there's one you really want to bring out aside from your Eagles. I don't think there was any huge, crazy, oh my God, I can't believe... Well, I guess the Broncos beating the Jets 10-9 was kind of weird.
I stopped watching football after the Eagles game.
I tried to stay connected, but I was pissed. The Chiefs beating the Chargers, getting bailed out again. The Monday night games. But yeah, so we'll start with... my game happened before yours, so we'll go Steelers-Colts.
Let it out, Herbert.
Where
this will be a
the
therapy
fuck
session
do I begin, man? This team did not show. This team was down 17-0. 17-0. This Colts defense has one of the worst rushing defenses in the league, and we could not run the damn ball. Najee Harris, 13 carries for 19 yards.
1.5 yard average.
Cordero Patterson, who got hurt, 6 carries for 43 yards. And then Justin Fields, 10 carries for 55 and 2 touchdowns. But there is a clear-cut problem in the running back room, and it's the obese fat man that is not playing to his strengths. You are a Derrick Henry type running back. Start running like him. You are not Le'Veon Bell. Stop being so patient behind the fucking offensive line. You do not have time to find a hole and break through it. You are not as fast as Le'Veon. Just run downhill like Cordero Patterson and Jalen Warren have been, and stop running side to side, and you'll turn your career around. Najee has proven time and time again why Pittsburgh should not pay him. Granted, he's been consistent and has had 1,000 yards every season, but I'm tired of these 22 carries for 70 yards, averaging 3 yards a carry. This is some Trent Richardson shit.
I mean, I thought the running back you let go was playing better, to be honest.
The running back we let go? James Conner? Years ago?
No, wait. Did you not let go of Warren?
No, he's hurt.
Oh, he's hurt. That's right. Okay.
Jalen Warren's hurt. But even Cordero Patterson played better with the 6 carries he got.
Put Justin Fields back in the running back position.
This team is the polar opposite of Michigan. Michigan can run the ball. They can't throw the ball. Pittsburgh can throw the ball, They can't run the ball. So none of this fucking play action is going to get anybody. Unless you get Jalen Warren or Cordero Patterson in the game. You're not faking a play action with Najee because the motherfucker averages less than 2 yards.
Yeah.
His average so far on the season is... Hold on, let me go to his stats. I don't want his career. I don't want his rear.
Are the Steelers really a passing team either? I don't know.
Justin Fields had 312 yards and a touchdown, 22 for 34.
He did this game, but the 3 other games.
I guess they're starting to develop more. Problem, man, Fields. Its offense is all Fields. Fields and George Pickens. That's all it is. I can't get Najee's stats to load. I'm gonna have to Google it. They won't pull up on NFL's website. So this season, Najee Harris. My God, bro. 68 carries for 228 yards. Guess how much he's averaging?
I can't do the math that fast.
3.4 yards a carry.
Not terrible, but it could be better.
It's 130th in the league.
Okay, maybe it's a little terrible.
If you turn around and hand the ball off to him 3 times, you're barely
first down.
You're barely picking up a first down.
Barley.
Third at 3.4, 3.4, 3.4.
Oh, 3.4. I thought you said 3.1.
You're barely picking up a first down.
Yeah. No, yeah. So wait, so what happened? So why have the Steelers been winning these past 3 games then?
Defense.
Defense. I thought that was the answer. I just wanted
The
to
problem with
see what you thought.
the oddball with Indy is you prepare for Anthony Richardson and play Joe Flacco. Two totally different quarterbacks.
Largely different quarterbacks, yeah.
You prepare for the mobile guy who's got a crazy arm, but play the pocket passer with checkdowns. And this soft zone defense that they played against Indy, I beg Terrell Austin, I beg, if you watch this or somehow hear this, please, I beg, stop running. Stop doing the zone defense. Stop playing this stupid fucking soft zone defense.
Is it like a Fangio style kind of?
It's like they're allowing everything under 10 yards. The problem is they're allowing everything over 20.
So you got a nice 10 to 20 yard range that no one's getting past.
They either hand it to their playmakers and make big time moves, or they pick up chunks.
Chunk plays.
I'm fucking tired of it, dude. It's always this time where Terrell Austin just comes out and shits the bed with the defense.
Maybe a new. Would you suggest a coordinator change?
Yes. There's a reason he got fired by week 4 in Cincinnati.
Oh, I don't know that. Probably sabotaging the Steelers. The Cincinnati guy at heart.
Dog. Najee. I assume this is out of 32 running backs. His fantasy football rank is 30th.
Good thing I didn't draft him.
Dude, his contract expires this year. I beg them, please do not pay him.
Yeah.
Give Cordero Patterson another year or stick with Jalen Warren. Because Najee's style of running is not good for the Steelers offense.
Or change the offense to make it good for them.
Nope. That's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen.
But yeah, Justin Fields played phenomenal. We're one bad snap away. One bad roughing hitting a receiver call away from winning that game. Minka hit, I think it was Adonai Mitchell. Terrible call.
Terrible. I did.
They said it was hitting a defenseless receiver. Absolute bullshit call. Terrible. And then Zach Frazier snapped that win. Smacked Justin Fields.
I'm going to look it up and watch
forehead.
it so I can disagree with you.
Go ahead. It was a bullshit call.
Mitchell, the Steelers. Let's take a look at it. Oh my God, it's an ad. I don't actually have to look at this. I trust you. BS call. BS call. I hate the refs.
BS golf.
No more refs in football.
The officiating this year in pro and college is the worst it's been ever.
Last year was pretty bad.
This year I think it's worse. They're deciding games even worse than they were deciding games last year. But
Yeah.
that's my little rant. Defense got to step up, man. I don't know how you allow 27 points to Indy to Joe Flacco. Almost 40-year-old Joe Flacco.
He just knows the Steelers.
I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, we need to get Devontae Adams.
Oh yeah, he just requested a trade.
Trade for him, get Devontae Adams, and I think we're back in business.
Back in
But
business.
I'll allow you to have the floor for your Eagles. Eagles. Eagles.
Them. The Philadelphia Eagles went into Tampa Bay to fight the Buccaneers, and they lost 33-16, which is not fun. Okay, so there's a lot of things you can talk about in this game, and with this Eagles team specifically, because this Eagles team is weird and should not be playing
Is weird.
as bad as they have been playing. So one, I mean, just straight off the bat, you are without your three best offensive starters with A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Lane Johnson all out. Eagles are historically bad without Lane Johnson and A.J. Brown, especially with Jalen Hurts. So yeah, injury bug. It was also hitting us throughout the game with the heat. Our players were getting sick. Our starting safety had to go out in the game. Reed Blankenship. And then we also lost,
not Reed.
Ed Reed Blankenship, as they call him.
Ed Reed Blankenship.
So yeah, injury bug hit us hard. That did not help. But we didn't lose any starters. At least I don't think so. On defense, which we were getting absolutely carved up on in the first half and pretty much the whole game. But Tampa Bay scored 24 points on us in the first half. Baker Mayfield looked like prime Aaron Rodgers out there. Just so many easy completions. They were just getting the ball out quick, and then Bucky Irving would run for like 6 yards, 10 yards, right? But the short passing game was absolutely cooking up our defense. Darius Slay, was supposedly our best corner, did not look good. C.J. Gardner-Johnson talks about this crap, and then lets up an easy touchdown to Mike Evans. I think that was the opening or second drive. And I mean, you can't be doing that on defense. I don't know if it's the Fangio scheme anymore. I get you do kind of you have to pressure them. You can't just allow these easy completions. You can't be so worried about the deep play. I know they got weapons, but you can't be so worried that you just give up everything within 10 yards. Our linebacking situation without Zach Bond is not good. Nakobe Dean has not played well. And then our corners, Quinyon Mitchell has looked all right. He's at his rookie moments. But that defense is getting cooked up. No, dude, Bryce Huff is getting paid $16 million a year to go out and get 0 pressures per game. It is so bad.
Yeah, it seems like it was a bad week for star pass rushers. TJ didn't have a sack.
Bryce Huff hasn't done anything all season. I think he has a few QB hits, maybe.
Well, they.
I don't know what that's about. I don't know if it's team fit. I know in New York he was a lot of, a 4-point lineman. We kind of got him more standing up. He's not dropping into cover. Do you know who did drop into coverage though? Was Nolan Smith dropped into coverage on Chris Godwin.
Oh, the old Pittsburgh special. Put a linebacker on their wide receiver too.
Well, the thing is, Nolan Smith, yeah, he's technically a linebacker. He's an edge rusher. He's not a coverage player. So I saw that and that was maddening. I was like, how, in what world is that a good idea, Vic Fangio? Vic Fangio, you're people know how to beat the Fangio offense now. I mean, the Fangio defense. I was thinking, because people try to copycat it a lot, play that too high safety kind of play with everything in front of you. Um, but I thought Vic Fangio would coming in, being the originator of it, having a lot of experience, would know when to change things, how to adjust. Which he did. It seemed like he was doing great last week, but no, this week we didn't have an answer. We kind of changed things up in the second half. Almost made it a game. And the box score doesn't show it, but there was a few momentum swings that happened, and we could just never capitalize on those. So going to the offense, right? So the injury bug hit us on the offense. I don't know why we traded for Jahan Dotson if we're just never going to throw it to him. I mean, but also I don't know if he's getting not getting open. I've seen him a lot of highlights where he just falls down on routes. He gets manhandled at the point of attack. Um, so not. And then who else we had? Johnny Wilson and Paris Campbell. I think Paris Campbell had one of our touchdowns. Um, but our highest, um, our receiver with the highest yards was Dallas Goedert, tight end, and then it was Saquon Barkley, running back, and then it was Grant Calcaterra, our backup tight end,
Wow.
and then it was Paris Campbell with 17 yards. We had John Ross catch a ball in the year 2024.
Jesus, dude.
That's how hurt we were. Johnny Wilson, I like him. He got targeted a time or two, I think. He just got to learn how to. He's a big guy. He needs to learn how to contest the catch in the NFL because there was a few times where he dropped balls that he should have caught with his size.
You'll have that with the rookies.
Saquon Barkley, I mean, he had a great big run, momentum switch. That barely, I think it resulted in a Jalen Hurts touch push. I'm pretty sure.
Push, push.
Touch push. But yeah, Fred Johnson, the guy who came in for Lane Johnson last week, look at last week, did not look good at all this week. He was letting up everything. It was immediate. Vita Vea was eating our lineup. The whole rest of that D line was eating our lineup.
God damn.
We had Cam Jurgens get hurt in the middle of it too as well. So we had to have Landon Dickerson, our guard, go in for center, and we had Tyler Steen, second year out of Alabama, play left guard.
Hey, we had the same thing. We had Spencer Anderson was in the starting lineup last week, then got swapped. Mason McCormick came in, the rookie. So we had Mason McCormick start this week, and then James Daniels got hurt and is out for season. So Spencer Anderson got put back in the lineup.
Mm-hmm.
It's been bad.
And then I saved the last point of especially Eagles Twitter contention this week, and kind of this whole season, which is Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni. Oh, I don't know. I'll tackle Nick Sirianni first. What are you doing? Who's calling the offensive plays? Because he'll come out during like I remember specifically last week against the Saints. He was like, yeah, all those fourth down decisions were my decisions, those were my play calls. I'm like, okay, what's Kellen Moore doing? he should be calling most of the calls. I know he's calling because we never ran motion last year under Johnson, but we've been running a lot of motion now. But like I saw like the chart of like where all our routes are going. Nothing's was going in the middle this week. So that leads me to believe that Nick Sirianni was getting scared. He was like, no, Kellen Moore, we can't do that. We can't have Jalen throwing over the middle. we have to put it to the outside. I think Jalen Hurts can cook in the middle if he has AJ Brown and Devontae Smith out there. Besides that one interception from Green Bay week 1 that was really bad over the middle. But I mean Dallas Goedert had plenty of catches over the middle, including the one that pretty much won us the game last week. But this week Jalen Hurts is not looking good over like since the collapse of last year and coming into this year and this year so far. I think he has within that span he has about 27 turnovers, which is the most in the NFL.
Jesus.
He makes some stupid reads Granted, not all the interceptions are his fault. But what is his fault is his seemingly lack of pocket presence when he just doesn't feel he's he starts running, he still got a ball in one hand, and he just doesn't feel the pressure coming from behind, and he gets strip sacked. I think that happened twice this game.
Damn.
So that is momentum killers. I know it killed any chance of a comeback when we were driving down the field in the second quarter. It scored not the second quarter, in the third quarter. Made it I think at that point like a 2 possession game. So this was going down to make it a 1 possession game, and Jalen Hurts just coughs up the ball again. It's like, what do we do with what do we do going into the bye? Because obviously this team is too good on paper to be playing like this, right?
Yeah, there's a
I
lot
don't.
of question marks in
Jalen
the defense.
Jalen Hurts needs to get better. I I don't want to have a quarterback problem, but I mean, if
Kenny
we
Pickett
have to,
starting?
if Jalen Hurts keeps playing the way he's playing, specifically week 1 and now, he played all right in the 2 games before, in between those. But I mean, Saquon Barkley is our whole offense right now. It's Saquon Barkley and AJ Brown. It's not running through Hurts. Hurts has just got to be able to run that modern pro scheme system and not the RPO system that we used with Brian Johnson, but this modern pro scheme system that Kellen Moore is trying to implement. Which I don't even know how much he's able to implement that because Nick Sirianni's taking over play calls.
Yeah, it sounds like
So
there's a nightmare in Philadelphia.
I'm not trying to overreact because I've seen a lot of takes and I'm like, maybe that's an overreaction, but I'm not so sure anymore. It's like, well, I saw a take I thought it was an overreaction. Someone said Jalen Hurts has played like the worst quarterback in the league so far. I'm
Absolutely
like,
not.
no, no, that is not a good take.
No.
He has been playing not good though. I'll give you that. He has not been putting his team in good situations, and that's what a quarterback. You got to run the system and not turn over the ball. And the Eagles have the worst turnover margin in the league right now, because our defense also just can't get the ball either. They can't turn over the ball. So I mean, Jalen Hurts got to get better, man. I don't want another Carson Wentz situation on our hands.
Dude, that would be
Um,
terrible.
this I'm feeling like deja vu here, except we didn't win a Super Bowl. We lost the Super Bowl,
Lost it to
and then
the
Jalen Hurts
Chiefs,
is.
yeah.
I still believe in Hurts though. I'm not quitting on him yet. Who
I
I
just
am
think
kind of.
I
Go
think
ahead.
defenses have been able to figure him out.
Also, with Jalen Hurts, you go back and watch him in like 2022. He is so much weirdly slower now. Like he can't make people miss. He just kind of lowers his shoulder and trucks people when he needs to, or he slides super early. Like he seems scared of contact from time to time, but he can't. He doesn't look like Lamar Jackson. He looks like maybe Josh Allen if he was a little less mobile. Jalen Hurts is just a big guy now. He can't make people miss anymore, which I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how
Maybe
smart that
maybe
is.
got to lose some weight or something. I don't
Yeah.
know. But like I said, I'm not quitting on Hurts yet. I still believe him. He has a good mentality. I think he's a good leader. Who I don't think is a good leader, and who I'm kind of quitting on, is Nick Sirianni. Nick Sirianni does nothing for this team. He's not like a hoorah CEO either, because you got your veteran players who are supposed to be like these voices of leadership going and laughing at Darius Slay going on Micah Parsons' podcast and
Yeah.
laughing at CJ Gardner Johnson giving up the
I
touchdown to
don't
Mike
know how
Evans.
you explain that.
So if I'm the Eagles going into the bye week, I don't want to overreact. Let me just say I would not be unhappy or too worried if going into the bye week we fired Sirianni and gave Kellen Moore a shot.
I think that's a little bit far fetched.
Sirianni, the Sirianni discourse has been going on for a year and a half now. People wanted him out this offseason, and we're like, all right, let's chill a little bit.
I think he lasts all year.
But like, he probably does, and I'm kind of fine with that. But I'm also kind of not. We have a great roster. Why are we wasting it? We were wasting AJ Brown in his prime. We're wasting Devontae Smith in like kind of his prime. Jalen Hurts needs to get. We're wasting Saquon Barkley in his prime. What are we supposed to do? We shouldn't be playing this bad. Herbert's trying to sneeze right now because the Eagles are
It
so
won't.
bad.
It won't come out. Damn it.
I don't know what to do with the Eagles, man. They got to clean up a lot of stuff going into the bye week. I think the bye week. I was mad about an early bye week at first, but now it came at a perfect time. Everyone's injured, and everyone kind of sucks right now. So we need to go into. So that I don't think we should fire Sirianni into the bye week. I'm just saying, if it did happen, I wouldn't be too unhappy. Sirianni is, I he I've given him a lot of slack. I feel like a lot of Eagles Twitter overreacts a lot. Um, but I'm kind of just done with Sirianni. I hope he proves me wrong. I really do hope. Um, and I hope Jalen Hurts proves me right. I hope Jalen Hurts comes out and looks like the franchise quarterback again. But I'm off my soapbox. That was the Eagles versus the Buccaneers.
I'm
Terrible
off
game for
my
the Eagles.
soapbox.
That was long.
That was a little bit of the floor was yours, man. Get it all
we
off
we
your
both
chest.
we both had a good therapy session, I think, for the
We'll go ahead and start. We'll go through this because this podcast we're hitting the 1
an
hour
hour and 40
36
minutes.
mark. Yeah.
Oh, 36. Yeah.
So,
Then we can just do a quick little.
Buccaneers go to Atlanta. Tampa Bay's playing on fire. Give me Tampa Bay.
Yeah, give me Tampa Bay.
New York travels to Minnesota. This is a 9:30 game.
Oh yeah, in London.
London.
Actually, they're not going to Minnesota. They're going to London.
You're right. Sorry.
Yeah.
Minnesota's technically the home team, I think.
Yeah, so they get a home game taken away.
Yeah.
Oh man, dude.
I
Sam Darnold.
I almost want the Jets to win this or think the Jets could win this, but Sam Darnold looks like a legit quarterback.
Sam Darnold looks legit, though I think this might be the best defense he's faced so far. I mean, well, no, actually, yeah, he beat the 49ers. I forgot about that. Um,
I'm taking Minnesota.
I mean, the Vikings, until they give me something to scrutinize, I'm going with the Vikings.
I am too. 1 o'clock game. Carolina goes to Chicago. Andy Dalton versus Chase. What?
Chase Claypool.
I don't know why I said Chase. Whatever the fuck. Caleb Williams.
Caleb Williams.
Give me Chicago.
Also,
Uh,
you know, I'm running with the Red Rifle. Give me Andy Dalton and the Panthers.
1 o'clock game. Baltimore travels to Cincinnati. Baltimore is going to single-handedly fucking... Derrick Henry's going to run all over this Bengals defense.
Yeah, this defense is not good. I mean, that was the talking point going into the season. That would be a problem for the Bengals, and it has proven to be so much worse than anyone thought it was.
Yep. 1 o'clock game. Yeah. Buffalo travels to Houston.
Good game. Good game.
It's a Stephon Diggs revenge game. I think Houston wins.
Yeah, both of these teams did not play last week, so one of them has got to bounce back. In Houston, Stephon Diggs revenge. Give me the Texans. Yeah.
1 o'clock game. Indy travels to Jacksonville. Depends on which quarterback plays. No, it doesn't. Give me Indy.
I'm actually taking Jacksonville. I think they are due for a win at this point. I don't think they've been playing as bad as their record shows. I still believe in Trevor Lawrence. Doug Peterson is showing the same things he did in Philadelphia during the end of his tenure, though, which makes me scared for that Jaguars team in general. But I think that the Jags get their first win against an AFC South opponent.
1 o'clock game. Miami travels to New England. This is going to be a battle of which offense is better. I guess I should say which offense is not the worst. Whoever can move the ball is going to win this game. I think
it's going to be New England.
I do too.
Miami just.
I trust Jacoby to move the ball more than Tyrod Taylor. Or sorry, not Tyrod Taylor.
Skylar Thompson.
Tyler Huntley.
It's Skylar Thompson. Oh, is Tyler Huntley starting again?
Yeah, he started Monday night against Tennessee.
But he got hurt in the middle of that.
Did he?
Yeah, I thought it was Skylar Thompson afterwards.
Oh, I missed part of the game. I just saw some of Mason's highlights.
Yeah. I mean, I could be wrong, but either way.
1 o'clock game. Cleveland goes to Washington to play the Commanders. Give me the Commanders.
Raiders got the high hand, man. Jaden Daniels, whew,
This is
playing lights out.
this is the conversation of worst quarterback in the league, Deshaun Watson,
Oh, dude,
undoubtedly. Him and
Deshaun
Bryce
Watson
Young.
sucks, and I'm eating up all of it.
Yep,
Fuck you.
me too. 4:05 game. Vegas goes to Denver. Um, man, this could. I want to.
What a
This is gonna has a chance to be a real shit fest.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say what an ugly game.
Yeah,
Raiders versus Broncos.
I'm taking Denver.
Yeah, I think the Raiders get discouraged after the Vontae news. Give me Denver.
4:05. Arizona goes to San Francisco. This is another one.
Arizona
of
did
those.
not play well against Commanders.
Yep.
But man, I want to believe it. I believe in Kyler Murray. I
San
think he's played really
Francisco
well this year.
beat the Patriots, so there's not much there. I'm gonna go with San Francisco. They got to get the shit together eventually, and I think this is a
They do.
perfect time to do it.
I'm actually going Cardinals. I think San Francisco is injured to hell and back right now, if I remember correctly.
They are hurt pretty bad.
Yeah. So I'm gonna get that. Gives me the Cardinals the edge for me.
4:25 game. Green Bay goes to the Rams. Jordan Love, I think he
Will
was
be
back.
back.
Yeah, he was back last week.
Yeah, he didn't play well. Bounce back game. Jordan Love. I'm taking the Packers.
I'm going with the Rams.
Mm.
Matthew Stafford, he knows the Packers, man. He knows the Packers.
Oh, he does.
4:25 game. Giants at Seahawks. Seahawks have a bounce back after dropping one to Detroit. I think they beat the Giants easily.
Giants are bad. Give me Seahawks.
8:20 Sunday night game. Dallas travels to Pittsburgh. This is the first time they've ever met on Sunday night. I think Pittsburgh has a bounce back game and beats Dallas.
The first game they really. You
This
think
is-
how historic those two franchises are? You'd think they'd have more Sunday night games.
Yeah, they have never played on Sunday night before.
This is actually tough for me.
I
Because it's
think.
like Dallas's defense is not good.
Mm-mm.
Pittsburgh's defense is really good. Pittsburgh's offense is not that good. They're kind of one-dimensional right now, like you were saying.
Yeah, I think I think they'll be able to stop
Cowboys
Najee,
offense
but
is
I don't
good.
think they'll stop Fields. Fields will be able to run all over him, I think. This is just another one of those. Dallas has a terrible rush defense, and if Pittsburgh can get the run game going, they'll be fine. But if they
See,
can't,
this is really close for me, actually. And I want to say that Dallas kind of bounces back. What really is coming down for me is the veteran Prescott versus Justin Fields.
but that Dallas
I think-
defense is without Dexter Lawrence, without Micah Parsons, and that Dallas offense does not have Brandon Cooks.
True. Tough. Steelers just lost to the Joe Flacco Colts, so
I'm going with Pittsburgh.
I'm going with Dallas, unfortunately.
Monday night, New Orleans goes to Kansas City.
Kansas City. I'm not picking. They've had ugly wins, but I mean, the Saints have kind of crashed and burned after that first 2 weeks.
Yeah, I agree. I think I'm also rolling with Kansas City.
Mhm.
And then the four teams on the bye are Detroit, the Chargers, Philadelphia, and Tennessee.
Thank God the Philadelphia Eagles are on a bye week.
And
I can't watch them anymore.
I think that's what we'll call it. We're going to go ahead and end the podcast here. We talked an hour and 43 minutes. Man, this episode felt a lot longer than the last one, but they're around the same time length. We spent a lot of time on college football.
We did. Freaking college, man.
College.
We should. College.
College.
I remember college. All right.
So
Yeah.
we'll see you guys in the next one. Like I said, we're going to try to get these out every week. Right now, we're doing steady. Next Wednesday, we'll hopefully be joined by Offenbacker, our third co-host, which will make
Yes.
this episode probably an hour longer because there'll be three of us. So
Watch out for a 6-hour
6-hour podcast. But we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.